code. So we'll be moving on with our next match. Thijs versus SilverName is what we have coming up. It is two titans of the streaming world right now. Thijs with a massive competitive legacy behind him, and SilverName with some pretty sharp tournament performances, like in terms of big spikes at major events. But being a Russian-speaking streamer exclusively, I don't actually get to talk to him. So what I've seen from him so far is that I really like it. And then the media pieces. He's talked at length about how he feels control is a strong part of his game, which is why I'm always so surprised that he continues to bring aggressive decks despite that.
It is interesting. I mean, this week he actually brought a Bomb Warrior with no Shield Slam. So he's bringing that all-aggro version of Bomb Warrior. And honestly, my opinion of SilverName has changed a lot. I think this season he's taking a lot more seriously than last season. I kind of ribbed him a little bit when I was casting Season 1, but he's starting to bring great decks. I think he's actually been playing very well as well.
Yeah, I have been impressed with his line of play. I think that he does have the right game plan in mind, and we saw him able to navigate that pretty spectacularly in a Bomb Warrior game where he deviated from the norm and became the fatigue deck himself. And I thought it was a wonderfully executed plan when he had it in place. The big question mark I've had for him has been deck choice. And since I've seen him more streamline that process, he's had a much better record as a result. And this season of Grandmasters, he's in playoff contention. The previous season, he was not. In the previous season, he continued to lose match after match, bringing Token Druid and Mech Hunter, and just those were not decks that competed with Cyclone Mage at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the Token Druid list had Big Aim Hunter in its secondary list. It's not optimized, but if we look at the list that he's bringing now, they're pretty darn good lists, man. I think specifically, just bringing the Priest, bringing Shaman, decks that have been consistently showing their performance here in Grandmaster Season 2, I think that's where he's going to find his wins.
Yeah. So let's talk about the pick and bans that came in here. Very standard, straightforward, protected Priest on both sides.
Okay.
And that's what that Divine Shield bubble means. It means it was ineligible for a ban down below. Warrior and Paladin were now the 2 points that are targeted. Thijs had his Paladin banned away, Holy Wrath Paladin, and SilverName's had his Bomb Warrior banned away. And so for SilverName, I think this was an excellent call for him on banning the Paladin deck, anticipating Bomb Warrior gets banned away in this spot. His Druid deck only has one copy of Ferocious Howl, negative in the matchup, and his Quest Shaman deck, it's Quest Shaman versus Holy Wrath Paladin. I have personally not been a big fan of that matchup. And then to boot on that, he's teched in a copy of Earthshock as well. So a further dead card that's in the matchup.
It feels like SilverName got a slight edge against Thijs in this pick and ban phase. I really like the heads-up idea to just ban Paladin when his warrior's getting away, just like you said, and for the reason that you said, it seems very smart.
Yeah. I'm looking at this Shaman deck right now as well. He's pretty much gone the full Monty on the former champ Giggling Inventor, opting for one Giggling and one Earthshock. The Earthshock largely, I think, targeted at Priest matchups where just in a pinpoint situation early on in the game, if you're facing a big minion, you do have access to an answer in your deck.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it comes with sacrifices as well. He's only running one Mind Control tech, and I think that against specifically Quest Druid, MC Tech is one of the best cards in the late game. If Druid gets online, and him only having one might lead to a little bit more variance in how that match plays out.
You're thinking like the King Ferris turns.
Yes, where you just go Hero Power, MC Tech, and suddenly you're actually ahead.
Yeah, it's like you played King Ferris.
Yeah, but you played a Mind Control tech instead.
Yeah, so instead of a 5/5 for 10, you get a 3/3 for 5.
And their 2 minions to kill. It's pretty much 5 mana, kill 2 of their minions, summon 3 things.
That's pretty much what
Sounds
it's like.
pretty good, yeah.
It's a good minion in the matchup. I do think that you have pretty strong ways to fight the pressure outside of that, but we're getting into a Priest Mirror match. It's a classic 1 gallon.
I mean, what can you say about this? It always feels like the Priest Mirror. It's really hard to commentate because they condense like 8 turns into 2.
So the Priest decisions, like here's the deal. Priest is a very powerful deck.
Yeah.
Its decisions carry a lot of weight, and it has a lot of them. Like, it's a difficult deck to pilot. Mm-hmm. The reason why it sometimes doesn't feel like that is because it's so powerful. All of its decisions are magnified, they're compacted into just a couple of turns, and when you put that in a mirror match, it is super volatile.
I definitely like the word magnified. It seems like a lot of times you say, I beat this one card and then lose to these 2 cards, and that's where the decision point lies.
No 1-drop for Thijs. SilverName's got 2 beaming sidekicks, Light Warden, and injured Tolvir. From the get-go, this feels like advantage SilverName.
I like just trying to contest board here.
Hey, I got you, friend.
Thijs is running a single copy of Silence, but SilverName is as well. It seems like they are running the exact same 30 for 30 card list that Hunter Ace piloted a rank 1 legend a few weeks ago.
Yep, it's 30 for 30.
It's 30 for 30. Yep.
2 Wild Pyros, 1 Acolyte, 1 Silence, 1 Topsy.
Oh, that is quite a pickup.
Yeah, I was curious about this turn. If you use Wild Pyro and Topsy, you do give up your Wild Pyro in the meantime.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You're trading 2 for 2, but you kind of get tempo back from your opponent. Generally, if this is their turn 1, it's unlikely for them to have a strong follow-up turn 2. Usually, this kind of play wants to capitalize on the board that they make.
I'm worried about the Light Warden growing out of hand and then not having an answer.
Yes.
That to me is likely why I land on this scenario. And you can see what I mean by magnified. Like, you have to throw your cards out there in battle for tempo. There's really not an option.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't feel good, but it
doesn't feel bad.
It feels like the other play would be awful. Game-losingly awful.
Go.
So we just did an okay play instead of game-losing awful scenario play.
Sounds like a great play to me.
Yeah, sounds great. And Thijs sets himself up for actually a pretty good 50-50 with the Psychopomp. If the Intertolvir gets resurrected...
That's if the Intertolvir dies.
If it doesn't die, you're still... Like, even if you get the Wild Pyromancer, you're still pretty happy with that outcome.
I think that Thijs is about to be in a world of hurt with this Wild Pyro. Acolyte of Pain into Wild Pyro.
Yeah.
Speak to me.
He's not going to panic because he has extra arms right now, but he might panic in a turn or so.
SilverName is considering trading here.
So the bump would mean that extra arms is easier to check?
Yes, but at the same time, you're making Neferset Ritualist quite a powerful card.
Exactly. You're also making Psychopomp optionable at that point.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting kicker, perhaps, with that Divine Spirit. Thijs is going to opt for arms. And so for SilverName now, 0-cost cards are extremely good. I'm thinking Wild Pyro, Divine Spirit.
Well, wait a second, because you can always start with Beaming Sidekick trade in.
Interesting point.
You're committing a lot of stuff to answer this this 4-3. If you go Wild Pyromancer, Divine Spirit, you get to draw an extra card. You'll have a 1/5 Acolyte at the end of this, but you could already start with a 1/5 Acolyte with the Beaming Sidekick first.
You could also just bolster it to a 1/10.
You start losing a lot of value to a Silence. Like, Silence will blow that game plan out of the water.
1 copy.
1 copy of a card is more like, it's more than a 0% chance.
Sure, but I want to mind you that you preached around not playing around Dynamatic with his 1 copy.
I agree. I don't think we're in that spot yet where
Okay.
you have to go all in on this Divine.
How important is the health tempo?
Really, what this means is that SilverName's turn, not a lot of decisions, but it's very tough.
It's very difficult. Like, all of your calls carry weight.
Yes.
That's the hard part. Is like you have to make a call and live with it.
SilverName here is going to make the call to just Divine Spirit.
I like it.
My only problem with it is you know about the second more arms in Thijs' hand. Does it really benefit you to do this instead of just... Like, is forcing out of more arms here what you want to do? And I'm not really sure it is.
I think drawing cards is what you want to do.
I agree with that.
I think I'd like my opponent to have to spend their mana. I think I'd like the... I'm a big proponent of very different play. Like, I've noticed that you talk about playing around Mind Control tech a lot. A lot of times I try to recognize, when is that not a bad turn for me, and how can I force my opponent to use it?
I agree. I think this would be a bad turn for SilverName if Thijs just plays an extra arms here, which SilverName knows is in his hand.
I think it could get a lot worse.
You're saying that if he doesn't play more arms and plays a Intertolvir instead, heal, that's worse? But I don't buy it.
What if I had Northshire Cleric there?
What do you mean?
What if Thijs had Northshire Cleric there? I think that's much worse.
What if SilverName had played his Northshire Cleric there? Suddenly, Thijs has a really tough option.
Well, you kill the Northshire.
And you have an Acolyte in play. If you draw a single spell...
I think it was worth considering the Northshire.
A lot of tough options so far.
I think that SilverName's about to get a massive turn.
The Circle of Healing and Inner Fire pickup is... the Inner Fire isn't about as good as it can be, but the Circle of Healing with a spell is about as good as it can be.
Yeah, this is really good. The problem is the size of this Intertolvir.
It's massive.
But draw 4 cards. See if that'll fix it.
Neferset, just 1 mana off from being fantastic.
Silence.
That is maybe not what you want to do right now. You kill off pretty much everything. You leave them with a 2-5 at the end of it.
True story.
That sounds about as bad as it is right now.
So set up for the silence next turn.
Yeah. Do you open yourself up to losing to...
God, it's so hard.
You don't worry about it.
I'm very worried.
Well, I was going to say Divine Topsy, but you've seen his Topsy from Thijs' side. He's played it on the Light Warden on turn 2.
Yeah. I mean, neither player able to really establish a stranglehold on board.
I disagree with that. Right now, the Psychopomp is resurrecting a Wild Pyromancer, and you can go Psychopomp, Divine Spirit, kill both of these 3-1 and the 2-1, and then just value trade over the Northshire Cleric.
So he doesn't have to worry about silence, but SilverName does.
What do you mean?
Well, you just preached about SilverName worrying about silence, and now you're preaching about Thijs not worrying about it.
I'm actually clueless.
Well, if Thijs uses Divine Spirit, he's got to worry about the silence from SilverName.
I wouldn't even Divine Spirit the 6/7.
Oh, you're going for the smaller minion.
Yeah, one of the.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
I think Thijs likes it too, based on the fact that he's Psychopomping here. I really would not be surprised to see a Divine Spirit right now.
Oh, you're smart, Gallen.
That being said,
can you Divine Spirit the Psychopomp there?
what about the Wild Pyromancer?
I kind of want the extra minion.
Yeah, you're only really worried about the second Wild Pyromancer. You've seen one copy of it.
It's a very interesting spot. You're making me think. I like that. That's
It's
a tough spot.
It's tough.
The natural instinct is get more health from Divine Spirit. More health doesn't necessarily mean more advantage, though. I think options are powerful in Thijs' spot. So the Wild Pyromancer being bolstered up and not being vulnerable to an opposing one, I think that's important.
SilverName also has options here. You could Wild Pyromancer, just silence the opposing Wild Pyromancer. He leaves up a 6/12 on board, but he gets rid of that extra 3/1 and the ability for Thijs to play spells and impact the board that way with the Wild Pyromancer.
Yeah, my instinct is that the 6/12 does need to be silenced here. It is getting pretty scary. And so I think SilverName's going to take the option, see what he gets first, and then try to make a call on it. And as it stands
there,
now,
because
he's
it's silencing. Yep.
And so if SilverName had gotten Acolyte, I think he would have gone for Pyro Silence.
I just want to point out that that was very well ordered by SilverName.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. So for Thijs now, I think that this Northshire Cleric has a pretty big target on its forehead.
It is dead.
And for SilverName, seeing that Bwonsamdi first means that your Bwonsamdi is not nearly as good.
It is nearly as good is a good way to phrase it.
Well, draws Ahmet, though.
Yeah, but he can only play one minion alongside of it.
I'm thinking you play Bwonsamdi and you take the risk.
I think you definitely play Bwonsamdi here. It's 7 mana and you got 7 mana. Every other play is just not even close, but man, you know what the context of Thijs' hand is? He literally drew 6 cards off of that.
Yes, it's going.
That's literally all of the 1-drops in the deck.
It's the full Monty.
That's all of them.
All of them.
You're happy when you see like 2. That's 6. SilverName's in a world of hurt, man.
It's such a weird game. Like, it plays almost the complete opposite of how I feel every other Hearthstone game goes.
What do you mean by that?
I just throw away everything to try to get the lead.
That's how a lot of Hearthstone's games go.
A lot of Hearthstone games, I preserve things and wait for the right moment.
Because you're a Control Warrior player.
Just even almost any deck I play, I wait for the right moment. In this one, the right moment is right now!
Yes, as soon as possible.
Is someone injured?
It's like peeling off a Band-Aid.
I think, okay, so I want to talk about something we've seen a couple times so far, which is going full Northshire.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Playing 2 Northshire Clerics when your opponent also has a Circle of Healing themselves, maybe not worth it.
I saw a friend of mine linked me a replay of a game they played yesterday where they could not, it was 0%. Their opponent played the second Northshire, and they double circled and dealt 241 damage.
It seems like a way to throw.
When you're at 4-1.
When you're at negative 211 life, you're at a disadvantaged state.
Minor, but still there. Thijs is loading up.
In the light's name.
I think SilverName needs a chain of draws if he has any hope.
I can't think of a chain of draws. It starts with Twisting Nether, I'll tell you that much. There's not a Twisting Nether in SilverName's deck list.
True story. There's got to be some sort of wild pyro pop-off. Doesn't start with that one, though.
Well, hold on a second, because you can go Wild Pyromancer, Northshire Cleric, Topsy-Turvy, Neferset. Okay.
I think you draw first. You have to get the draw.
Well, you have to play the Wild Pyromancer.
Well, it doesn't work anymore, I don't think.
My problem with starting with the draw is I
He's
spent
dead.
2 mana to draw
He's
1
dead.
when you could have spent 2 mana to draw 2. Well, hold on a second, because has SilverName played a Circle of Healing yet?
He's played at least one.
Oh, if he had 2 in his deck list, he could go Topsy-Turvy on his Wild Pyromancer, get a Circle, and hopefully draw the second one. And I think that actually would kill Thijs here. Oh, he's doing that on one of... It's interesting to me that he would do it on the 9-2. The 2-6 has merit as well, because if you play 2 spells, then the 9-2s and the 2-6 dies.
I think it's a matter of formalities. He has to win this turn via out-healing Thijs. First card, not Circle.
He just didn't give himself enough time, even if it was Circle here. Button is green. That means it's all but over for SilverName in this game. Gotta check for lethal. There's
Don't
not
see
a
it.
Divine Spirit in hand right now. He can push.
Wow. All right, well, I want to get rid of my Northshire, though.
Is the far left card Acolyte of Pain? On the Spectator client, it's a bit hard to see. I believe it's an Acolyte of Pain. I could be wrong, though.
It looks like an Acolyte to me.
Okay, so Thijs is just going to do the keep it simple play of
Play big stuff.
play big stuff.
The point for Thijs in this game right now is squelch your opponent's ability to get back into the game, unless that's just enough. So that's a counting point. So 2-4 goes to 2-6,
I don't
which
believe it
goes
is.
to 2-12.
Yeah, I don't believe it is.
12 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. Not enough.
Not enough. Yep.
So,
Hey,
continue
I
game
got you,
plan.
friend.
Crush all of opposing minions.
Play like 25 mana worth of stuff.
Is someone injured?
Oh,
That's
there
the
it
one
is.
I don't like.
We
Wild Pyros are gone, so it'd be Psychopomp into Wild Pyro into Stuff Circle.
unlikely.
But
And
not
you wouldn't
impossible.
die. Even with that, it doesn't. You most
Are
likely
you
would
sure?
not
It
die.
depends on how many minions SilverName has, right? Because the Northshire
yeah.
Cleric's fueled from your own.
Oh!
The end begins.
Wild Pyromancer.
Oh, no. Not like this.
Okay, so how does SilverName get the maximum amount of card draw out of...
Well, let's watch and find out.
Okay.
In the light's name.
Oh, no.
That's 10 cards for Thijs. So the first 5 cards, I believe, are not enough. I think it's 15 fatigue for the first 5, and then he goes to 21 fatigue on the next one. So for SilverName here, he needed an extra point of mana to get this done. And
He
so
needed... No, he needed 2 more minions in play.
was it 2 more?
Because if he takes 21, he takes 15 from the first 5, 6 from the 6th card. So then another 7 puts him at 28, so he needs another increment to get to that last number. Yeah, so he ended
Needed
up...
2 more draws.
He needed 2 more draws. But that's still...
That is a
There had to have been a hand where SilverName gets the extra 2 minions there.
There's no way Thijs is supposed to play the Northshire Cleric.
Yes.
There's just no way. Like, that is the only way you can lose the game from that point, is to play a Northshire and get fatigued out. Now, if he is smart enough to know that that was impossible still, props to him on that. I don't believe that.
He's spooking me.
don't play the Northshire.
Giving me a heart attack.
You got the game locked up. You've blown up everything they've done. They have a 0% chance to come back.
You don't even need a one-attack minion in play at that point. It's only negatives.
You could put all the cards in their hand simultaneously and give them a 26-card hand with like 15 mana, and they probably still lose the game.
Absolutely. If you don't play that Northshire Cleric.
If you don't play the Northshire Cleric. You have the game locked, don't play the Northshire. Use the Northshire to get to the lock.
We were talking about that earlier, where he only played one, and it was like, hey, this is smart. Playing 2 is bad because this could happen, and it almost happened. So, Silk clinches it. I think that the game plan of just not going for a lethal, just playing stuff, is what you're supposed to do in that spot if it's not a clear lethal. But the Northshire Cleric at the very end, it's frightening.
It always depends on the matchup, and in the Priest matchup specifically, I think you are free to forego drawing for lethals and instead just recognize the spot and go, I can crush every minion they have. There's no chance they touch my stuff. I win the next turn. 100%. It doesn't matter how you get to 100%. 100% equals 100. Whether it takes you 1 turn or 50.
Keep it simple.
Don't play that Northshire.
And this even applies in like large tournaments as well, where you might have a ton of rounds that you have to play throughout a day, and if you're taxing your brain round 1 on this super complicated thing, what's going to happen when it's round 6 at 8 p.m. and you haven't had any food all day and you're just tired? You've been there since 6 a.m.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Yes, it's happened to me against Tars at DreamHack Atlanta, where I missed lethal like 4 times in a row.
Galen totally doesn't hold grudges against himself for making mistakes. We're going to go to break. When we come back, game number 2 of Thijs versus SilverName. Stay tuned. Thijs is up again.
Legends say powerful treasures are hidden everywhere here in Aldum.
If we hope to defeat Rafam, we'll need as many as we can get. He's already unleashed the ancient plague lords and countless monsters. Keep them distracted, Reno.
Not a problem. This plan is totally gonna work. Ain't that right, Finley?
Oh, yes! I have them right where I want them.
There is an artifact here. The name is...
The Scales of Justice. Oh, it must be really fancy.
only to be used in a time of great peril. Yes, I think this qualifies.
Hey, look, Finley! You've lured one of the Plague Lords!
Take this, fiend!
In the face! Yeah! Hey, guys! Get that treasure! We've got a Plague Lord to destroy!
Yes, please, hurry!
Not to worry, Finley! We just push this thing right here.
No, that's a trap! Watch out!
It's all good. I am phonily timed.
Gracious me!
What we actually need to do is press this. And there. A fish.
No! It's the Scales of Justice!
Oh. Ah, who wants to use it first?
Oh, I do! Me! On second thought, maybe give it to Finley?
All you had to do was hold a rope.
Here we go, blaming the tall, ruggedly handsome guy again.
My name is Thijs. How did I come up with my username? Well, my name is Thijs, and first I was called ThijsNL because Thijs was taken already, so I couldn't take it anymore. And I was a very creative person because I put up my 2 country letters behind it, and that's how I came up with it. But I look forward the most in Grandmasters is the prestige. I have been very looking forward to a more like league-based system, so I was very happy when Grandmaster got announced and really looking forward for like the rivalry between people by all the matches, and I am actually thinking it's gonna be great. What makes me very unique is that I just really am very passionate about Hearthstone. Of course, a lot of fun comes also with winning, but for me it's also the engagement with the community and just like making people so happy sometimes by just like being on stream, being online, playing in a tournament. That motivates me a lot as well to just be there for the community. I have a very preferred style of playing. It's definitely something that I want to be less predictable, but it's always going to be a challenge for me. I want to just prove over and over again that I'm still like one of the best players in the world. Getting to the top is difficult, but staying at the top is, in my opinion, even more difficult. So I'm just going to do everything I can, and yeah, my goal is kind of getting to the World Championship.
Welcome back to Hearthstone Grandmasters. We are amidst our third match of the day, taking place between Thijs and SilverName. I'm Nathan, that's Admirable Zamora, joined by Edward Gallen Goodwin, America's Grandmaster, who has to compete later today. So thanks for picking up some of the extra slack that we need around here. I need someone to talk to.
Yeah, I heard that Sada was just giving up on the European region.
Yeah, he's converted over to Americas. He says
just
Americas is the better region.
Yeah, America's just too good for him.
100%.
European is too bad for him.
No, he just said Americas is just too good. He had to admit that, they're just better, so we went over there to cast with TJ. Thijs is up a game right now from a Priest mirror match, and so we're headed into game 2, where SilverName is running back the Priest.
Nice.
Respect that. Thijs is going to be on Druid, trying to overcome a bad matchup.
Or a good matchup, depending on who you ask.
Who says it's good?
There's definitely people that say it's not bad.
Okay, so who said it's good?
I'm not going to name names.
Well, I demand you name names.
Well, there are no names.
How does one with no name say that a matchup's good?
Well, I don't know. There's someone somewhere that says it's good. I never said good people. I said people. Never said smart people. I said people.
Fair enough. I'll take your cop out.
Thank you.
We did see Thijs. We have seen a number of players overcome this matchup. It started with Thijs. In his interview, he said, "It doesn't really. Completing quests isn't your priority. If you complete turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, whatever. If you got to turn 8 or turn 9, that's really the ultimate goal, and that requires fighting pretty aggressively early on. We promptly after that saw Bunny Hopper overcome the matchup. We saw Casey overcome the matchup, and it was in 3 back-to-back-to-back Druid versus Priest matchups.
I'm going to interrupt you right there because SilverName has Injured Tolvier, Injured Blademaster, and Circle of Healing.
I will theorize that Thijs is not overcoming this one because he can't kill this Northshire.
Good theory.
He's got one more turn.
I think he's about a half more turn away.
He's got to draw Wrath next turn.
No, I don't think Wrath even does it.
I think it helps.
SilverName is going to go coin Light Warden here, play a 5/2 and play. Okay? He needs like 4 Wraths. He needs an extra Innervate as well. He needs to have like a 2-mana Wild Growth. He needs to have an Ultimate Infestation that costs 1 mana, and then maybe gets out of this game.
We got the Innervate.
Hey, only one of those cards. 1 mana UI off the top.
Yeah, it's not pretty. I think if you're in Thijs' spot, you are relying on mind control tech to be the goodest.
I think if you're in Thijs' spot, you're dead as a doornail right now.
You're looking very dead.
Oh.
That is a scary board.
Jewels of the sun.
I don't even think SilverName has to kill this.
Well, it's time to think about mind control tech. 1 copy.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, who cares?
Awfully bold of you to say. What about bumping this twice? Like, let's say you bump with the Northshire with the Light Warden, play the Injured Blademaster, and then Circle Healing.
Why do you need to bump? You're saying you bump with the Light Warden? I was thinking you could bump with just the Northshire Cleric, and then you push, like, 11 face this turn.
That works for me, too. I wanted to draw max, heal oh, my goodness.
I wanted to draw 1 less than max if I was in SilverName's spot. But I think this is still a very reasonable play. You pretty much limit your opponent's options the entire time. I don't even think that's that bad for SilverName, I'm not going to lie.
So if you Wild Pyro, Divine, and Circle Healing, how much damage is that? That's plus 10 on the Light Warden. Oh, sorry, plus 12 on the Light Warden. Yeah, if he'd have left the Crystal Merchant in play, what would have happened is, in this instance, the 4/7 would have gotten stolen. Wild Pyro, Divine, Spirit, which of course he drew, and then Circle of Healing would be bolstering by 14, and Thijs would have taken 7 last turn.
That being said,
would have taken
He would have taken
9
11.
last turn.
He would have taken 11.
Was it 11?
It was 11. I
Because the
believe.
Light Warden
No,
doesn't get
it was
healed.
it was 9. It was 9 because the Light Warden doesn't get
Yeah.
healed.
I wonder.
Wow.
No,
This
it
deck
was
is
11,
so
right?
good. No, it'd be
Because he
heal 4
traded off
minions.
an extra 2 damage into the thing to kill it. So it was 11.
Well, I would have. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So with 11, it seems like
Well, no, it would have been 7 because the Light Warden wouldn't have gotten. It would have been 9 because the Light Warden wouldn't have gotten the healing on itself.
that doesn't matter. There was
That's
four.
+2
There was
attack.
4 minions in play that were damaged. There was a cleric.
Oh, because the
That's-
Intertool was there.
There's 4 minions. You push the 2/6, so you get
Look,
9.
he's got that
2.
game.
Yeah, the game is pretty much over at this point, but we could
Look at the size of the Light Warden. This is not okay. This is press the emergency
But
button.
no, but what I'm saying here is
Mayday!
there is
Mayday!
outs, from Thijs' side, or from Thijs' side, there is technical outs. You know, like a Starfall here. It's not Innervate, I'll tell you that much. But a Starfall here, it would have cleared, ish, kind of. Starfall,
Silvername's got
Innervate,
10
Wrath.
cards in hand. It's turn 4.
It's only a 21 attack minion for 1 mana, Admirable. It's not that big.
It's so powerful.
He just needed Starfall, Innervate, Wrath.
It's so powerful.
That's only 4 cards, and he's drawn like 8. Maybe even 9.
What were we debating about? Do whatever you want. Play the circle and attack for 20.
Minor correction, 21. Oh, lovely games. Makes our job easy.
I remember a friend of mine who I played Hearthstone with way back in the day, and he was obsessed with Light Warden. And I was like, this card just it doesn't work. And I was like, everything kills it. You know, back in the day with 3/2 Knife Jugglers, everyone was playing Flame Imps. Like, those were the best cards. Light Warden never stuck to the board. It was impossible. And he said, one day Circle of Healing and Light Warden's going to be a thing. I went, nah. And I forgot all about that until literally just now. Took 5 years.
There was a card that was called Light of the Naru, which was just like a better Light Warden.
Well, worse, but yeah.
It was like, depending on the situation.
You had to heal.
You had to
You had to heal
also be
something and it
damaged
still
as
be
well.
damaged.
Yeah.
It was tough to. You would play it in here, but
For sure.
Light Warden is just, if you cannot kill a Light Warden against Priest right now, they have so many healing effects
Wow.
that are
Never said
alternate.
Ritualist is really like Light of the Naru.
I'd say it has some similarities.
Very
Yeah,
similar. I just hadn't thought about it that way.
just so powerful. Either way, game number 3. SilverName going to be on Quest Shaman for this one, and Thijs on Quest Druid.
Evil Totem, fairly decent start, I would say, for SilverName. Ooh, Starfall's a pretty good pickup.
That to me is one of the premium cards in the matchup.
Yeah.
You need ways to just sweep boards out.
Having a third one at some point will probably get this the Quest Shaman. Wow, he's just playing a. That's surprising to me. Playing a weaponized Wasp here.
Well, something I've noticed from SilverName is that I do believe he feigns a lot of this.
Sure.
Where he's trying to purposefully send mixed signals. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I have noticed that he grabs a card that he's not going to play quite often.
It's better with Quest Shaman specifically because everything you have is pretty much a minion, so they don't actually get like a huge read on your hand, except for the fact that everything in your hand is playable.
Which isn't even necessarily true. Like, you just touch all your cards.
Isn't there something where like you can hover, but then
If you drag them, yeah, it hovers.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing this, Thijs is seeing this card hover.
yeah. Oh! Turn 3, 4/5, another 4 power in play, and an Evil Totem.
Yeah, that one does... It starts to hit you, which I guess you're not concerned at in SilverName's position. Like, Thijs takes a long...
It's a Chillwind Yeti.
Thijs takes a long time to get
It's
aggression
turn
online.
3. He played a Chillwind Yeti and like 8 other things at this point. By 8, I mean 4.
All right, well, I think it's time to get busy. The Evil Totem is still alive.
that's not always a bad thing. I mean, it is a bad thing, but that's not always like a game losing.
Well, it is when your opponent has a bunch of stats in
Yeah,
play.
when they have literally a pyroblast worth of damage in play.
Yeah, I mean, he's beating down the door awfully quick. Like, normally, you know, the early evolve hits really hard, and you War Druid Lodi it down, and you're not really happy about the use of the War Druid Lodi, but it got the job done. It's not getting the job done.
He can Wrath the 3/3.
I'm worried. Completing quests this turn, though. So I would say that your number one priority should be to mitigate damage and then to move from there.
I mean,
so the more I think about it, actually, I kind of want to War Druid Lodi and put it in taunt mode. Your opponent's used a weaponized Wasp.
You just want to stave off damage.
Because it weakens the board, too, right? Like, it's pretty natural, I think, for SilverName to sometimes use the Wasp as a trade. And so I think that he's, you know, pretty much everyone who's in Grandmasters is capable of circumnavigating that, keeping it 3 health.
The only problem with that is that I think SilverName understands that Starfall is a very real threat. Probably will elect not to play not trade the 3/3 into the 1/6.
A much simpler scenario and a much easier mistake to make, but I also believed in game number 1 that Thijs' own Norshire was the threat.
Sometimes you just have to hope your opponent makes a mistake.
I'm serious. So Thijs uses the War Druid Lodi just for mana efficiency's sake. He's looking at Starfall next turn into
Also,
Nourish Wrath.
It also denies that scenario of SilverName not trading the 3/3
Yeah,
away.
it denies a disaster scenario.
What that says to me is that SilverName should be trying his darndest to play around a Starfall here if he can. Right now, his board is very Starfallable. Stuff like Titanic Lackey, Witchy Lackey. What?
This is very Starfallable.
It is. I imagine the Witchy Lackey should not come out this turn.
I think it's a Starfallacy. Let me look at your hand. You have an upgrade effect with the Witchy Lackey. You have a Questing Explorer, which is at 3 health. You have Titanic Lackey, which can bolster the health. You have a lot of ways to get out of being in Starfallable range.
I've got a PhD in Starfology, okay? I'm telling you right now, when you have X3s instead of X2s, you fail my class.
Starfail.
Unless you're War Druid Lodi. Because then it does 3.
Upgrade everything.
Besides the 4/5. If you upgrade the 4/5 to a 4/7, Starfall will kill it.
That one's pretty much good to go.
That's not good. I love this play by SilverName, by the way.
Great
this is
recognition.
Just max tempo.
Great recognition.
Yeah, this is by far the best thing he could have done to play around it.
That is so much stuff. He even dealt 13 damage that turn if you count the 3 to himself. Max damage.
So
Back-to-back Starfalls.
is Thijs just out of this game? That's the first question you got to ask. If he Starfalls the 4/5,
Well, he's taking 9. Minimum.
15 with the Life Drinker, so he's out of range of Life Drinker with Hero Power exactly by 1. Literally 1 health, he's out of range of that.
So now for SilverName, it's can you play around another Starfall? Play around Swipe.
You could play around Starfall by just playing a Goblin Lackey this turn. Goblin Lackey will put him in range where if he Starfalls, the Hero Power Life Drinker will just instantaneously kill him, and there's nothing he can do. At the same time, though, is there a world where Swipe comes into play, where you can go Ferocious Howl, Innervate, Swipe to get out of range? That's what SilverName needs to think about.
Yeah, I mean, the things that you have to think about are pretty specific scenarios. And so to me, it's like almost any way you slice it, you're getting the job done. Like I'm looking at former champion Witchy Lackey.
That sounds more than good enough. Is there a bad outcome at 6 mana that would deny it? The worst one is in Wild.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about that. I was thinking Duskfall and Aviana, but that's a 5 drop.
Yeah, so you're ignoring that. That is not a bad outcome.
Nope. He'll take it.
There's not a single draw in Thijs' deck that really...
Well, Innervate would have been the card, right? Starfall, Innervate, Wrath, so you Wrath first?
So then, maybe there is a world where you're supposed to play a Goblin Lackey.
It's required... Yeah, it required 3 cards all the same. But you've seen a Starfall already, and this way prompts a Starfall?
It's very unlikely.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely. I don't know, though. There actually was a world where if he didn't deliver the lethal blow this turn, Thijs could have gotten out of it.
But he did. So he doesn't. SilverName picks up another win. 6-5 now for him. He goes back into the black.
Thrashed in that game with the never set.
Thijs moves down to 5-6 on that one. I think it's quite apt that SilverName goes to a 6-5 record off the back of that Lord of the Arena.
Which is kind of weird because we're definitely not playing that game mode.
But it's 6-5 stat line.
I did the math.
Yeah. Thijs is a pit fighter. 5-6.
He strikes me as a pit fighter.
He is a pit fighter.
Gladiator.
He's battling for it. He's not out of it just yet.
And he's pretty safe from relegations too.
I would say so. You know, there's
a world where it happens, like that 1% that we were talking about. I'm
Yeah.
sure that it's on his mind.
Don't really want to talk about those 1% though. What I want to talk about is SilverName just capitalizing on every opportunity possible from it. Even game 1 going for the overdraw, looking for the perfect setup and scenario.
Yep.
In game number 2, just trying to maximize everything he could to give himself the best chance. And then in game number 3, finding that spot where he goes, you know what? Thijs has to have the world just to stay alive.
And Thijs did not have it.
No, it's very rare that you do.
That game 2 was a quick one. It was fun.
Yeah, they'll 20 ya.
It felt like both game 2 and game 3 had like the same style where Thijs was just desperately trying to stay alive. And I feel like Questrood can often struggle when it doesn't have those early game board removal tools like Wrath. What does it do?
Hurts.
Dies.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does.
Oh, I can't kill this 21 attack and 1 health minion. I guess I lose.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like to play with removal cards. And right now, not with Quest Druid. Just not for me. All face on ladders aggro.